So I clicked the button that said start stream,
You changed the
and
title, right?
Aaron did.
Oh, okay. We're just going. All right.
It's working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's great news, because I don't know how to use computers. Excellent. Welcome. This is the Casual Morning Show. I was going to try to memorize Pitt's.
You're in the wrong category.
Oh my god, I don't. Let's text Aaron.
No, you go to your like Twitch like
I
manager
don't.
overlay and you just change from Dungeons and Dragons to like
I don't think I have access to that.
oh my god.
Can you
Oops.
change the category? It's
Aaron's
okay.
not
He's
awake,
been helping. Yeah, he's been helping
Oh,
me
okay.
this morning. So all good. Thanks, Aaron. This is the Casual Morning Show. I am not Michael Pitts. I was going to pretend I was Michael Pitts. It would have been a really funny joke, but I'm stressed out. So
You're not gonna put on a funny voice?
I'm Michael Pitts. I don't know what he sounds like. Does he sound like that?
I don't know. I don't think Ray sounded like how I made him sound last week.
That's true. That's a good point.
This is my Pitts voice. Hi, I'm Pitts.
Wow, he does say that often. Yeah.
We're happy people, and we might look grumpy, but we're just super positive. Most positive people you'll see on a Saturday morning.
Sure.
Did you guys? Was that good?
That was close.
Yeah, close enough.
All right, introduce yourselves.
Oh, that's not part of it though. See, that's
this is my show, and this is how we're doing it.
Oh, all right, we're scuffed.
Yeah. I'm Rowan, and I am also positively charged this morning for good news. You may see me on other elements like our Welcome to Onshire show. I don't know if we're plugging things at the moment, but just
go for it.
Go watch it.
We're in the Wild West right now, baby.
That's me.
I'm Jardine. Yeah, I've been in the casual ones since kind of the beginning. Yeah, it's been a while, and yeah, a lot of people can't make it for the early morning Saturday show, so they pick the person who's 2 hours behind to go every week.
Yeah.
Hello, from 8 a.m.
We need to get you one of these bad boys, huh? We need to ship that out to you.
Yeah, I guess, but I also have like a tiny Nespresso machine, so like this is the cup that fits in it. So,
honest opinion, not sponsored. Do you like Nespresso?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the company, no, but like the coffee's good.
Of course, yeah. No, we don't need to get into that.
We can.
This is a positive news show,
I
not
lived
a killing the earth show.
I lived within like 20 minutes of like their like Swiss headquarters when I was there. So
really,
wow. Yeah.
I've always wanted to, like, when I used to work at Yorkdale, they had that like beautiful Nespresso shop there, and I would go in and they'd like give you samples and stuff, and I was like, man, this is so nice. And then when it came time for Rhoda and I to buy a coffee machine, like at the beginning of pandemic, I was like, okay, so we're gonna buy Keurig because that's the cheapest, and that's what we did.
The thing I will say that Nespresso does well outside of like the coffee tasting good is they'll give you like when you buy new pods online, they'll send you a red bag that the like used capsules go in, and all you do is seal it and put it in the mailbox, and it goes to them to get recycled because they reuse the aluminum and they use the coffee grinds for like fertilizer and stuff.
Very cool.
Two great points out of that because
Keurig is like plastic and stuff.
Plastic, we throw it out, and we're those people who are like, oh, it's so great that you can buy, because you can buy like the fillable ones that you do yourself, right?
You know,
absolutely not. But we should be opening our coffee grounds, like, because those are good for plants and stuff, and we should be doing that more.
But that is like the only positive thing I can say about Nestle as a company.
Not the best.
No, but you know, the coffee's all right, and it's like cheaper than going to Tim Hortons and that kind of stuff, and tastes better.
Yeah.
Fancy.
I mean, I have no
Should
strong
you be saying
opinions on
that?
Tim Hortons. Let's move on.
I have no affiliation. Continue pleasantries.
All right. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, perhaps, or watching this later, we are the casual ones. We stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and now Saturday mornings. We do a lot of RPGs. This is our news show. You'll also see coming up, if you follow us on social media, we have a bunch of stuff for Extra Life, which I think we will talk about later in the show in our What Are We Excited For section. But to start us off, we're going to talk news. So I'll just kick things off with some news articles so that I can close them so that my computer will run smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my first article is about how Zimbabwe has become the first African nation to approve it's an HIV prevention drug. So there's not too many kind of authorized and recommended by World Health Organization, but there's this one, and Zimbabwe is making like a huge push for HIV, like awareness, prevention, and get rid of it. And I thought there was a great stat in this article which I didn't know about. But okay, they've been working on HIV and AIDS related deaths for a while, and they went from 130,000 in 2002 to just 20,000 in 2021. That's like a huge number drop.
So is that new cases or current cases?
That's AIDS related deaths. So it's like, I mean, I am not researched in this area, but from what I understand, like with a lot of modern medicine, HIV and AIDS can be really manageable now.
Yes.
If you have access to, the medicine and the things that you need. However, I'm sure there's lots of countries that don't have regular access. So I think AIDS related deaths is like probably a big indicator of how well they're managing. So
if you've got the finances, you can be Magic Johnson and alive forever.
Yeah, I mean, that's my plan.
He's been like HIV positive for what, like 35 years or something?
Yeah.
It's been ages.
Does he do like activism around it, or is he just kind of like living with it? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does. He's been like outspoken about it since he contracted it.
Yeah. Okay. That's a sports thing, so I'm not that familiar. The other thing I thought was interesting, they have like an actual strategic plan that by it's end AIDS by 2030. So a little they're really just going for it, is what I say.
Yeah.
That seems like an optimistic goal, but good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
But they have they've already reached this target, which is called 90-90-90, which means 90% of people living with HIV know their status, which is huge. That's important. 90% getting antiretroviral treatments, and 90% having the virus suppressed completely. So yeah, just like really, as someone who is just terrified of every medical ailment, the fact that like our world is getting to a point where like, I don't know if you guys ever felt this, but like when I was younger, and there would be like fundraisers for things, and like like everything's going to like diabetes research and stuff. I was always like, what is that? Is that really gonna like what like? I don't understand what that means. As like a person not in the research field, like what does that mean? That's just going to research. Like this is never going to be cured. Like I don't know what you're talking about. And the fact that like now as an adult, I'm like, oh, like it really is doing something. Like it really, like we're actually, these things are possible. I don't know. It's just nice.
I thought you were going to say something completely different. Like, oh, they've already got it. Why are we researching it now? Like, jeez, Rebecca.
Why would I say that?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
I'm a little horrified that like a country like Zimbabwe isn't freaking out about vaccines and medicine like the first world is.
Oh man, that's a good
Like
point.
90% of people are okay with taking medicine about it. You can't get 90% of people in North America to get a COVID shot.
No, it's wild. Like, I don't know. It's just the
Yeah.
amount of like misinformation. Maybe it's just because like we just have nothing better to do than just read fucking Facebook articles that just tell us how bad these things are, and I don't know. I don't want to speculate,
Yes.
but it's awful.
One of the few benefits of COVID is it's hopefully killed the name Karen from existing for the next 10 years. From new birth.
Jardine, that's my mom's name.
I'm saying like new births probably aren't going to be called Karen unless their parents like, you know what, this kid's going to hate people.
Specifically, yeah.
Karen's
just in
one of those
general.
names I can't imagine on a child. Do you know what I mean? Like,
They don't go to like adulthood and it's like, you know what, I'm going to be called Karen now.
I'm just like, if
Nice
someone
Karen.
introduced me to their baby and I was like, oh, what's their name? And they're like, Karen. I'd be like, no, it's not. Like, you're joking.
Liar.
It's like Ruth. My name was almost Ruth. And I was like, that's like you're at least 70 if your name is Ruth, right?
Born all grown up.
Yeah.
My parents
Well,
were between Malcolm and Angus for a boy's name.
Dang.
So
and then you moved to Alberta, so everything's coming together.
one of the first like friends I have here, his name's Angus.
Really?
Really?
That's so
Yeah.
perfect. I love that.
But yeah.
All right. Angus, give us a news story.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna last long. All right. So a 14th century mosaic was like unearthed in war-torn Syria. It's depicting the Trojan War. So
Ooh.
it's on like the floor of what they think was like an old bathhouse from like 1600 years ago, and they're still excavating it. But I'll post the link in the casual ones chat, so if anybody wants to see it. There's also a video attached for it. The mosaic's huge. It's like the whole floor, and yeah, it's got like pictures of Achilles and like the whole thing for the Trojan War. It's quite large
Oh.
and pretty cool. And considering
really cool.
Syria's like a bombed out country that's constantly
Yeah.
in war, it's surprising that they're still finding stuff from like nearly 2,000 years ago.
They just don't make things like they used to, you know?
Floor?
It is interesting though, like
Wow,
the
look at
stuff
this
that
thing.
like that they wouldn't. I can't open it because the screen will
Break
die.
your computer.
So I'll look at it later. But my thing is like that's a lot of work and effort and talent, and it's like it's a bathhouse, and like yes, it's like a central place where a lot of people would go and like see this, but like we're not like we're lucky if we can get art like in you know like in an expensive fancy place where people will pay for it. Like that's crazy. It's
Yeah.
just like in these I just think that's really cool.
Well, labor, I will say, was very inexpensive back then.
For reasons, yep.
Yeah. And they really liked seeing artwork, especially in stuff like bathhouses, because, you know, you want to relax. So why
Yeah.
not sit in your own filth and look at the floor?
Listen,
Hey, I'm all
love
for
bath.
bath.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. I
but
thought you were
like,
hating on baths
no,
for
no,
a
no.
second.
I hate that bathtubs are too small.
Ooh,
Mm.
our new apartment that we just moved into like a year ago. Huge bath. It's
How tall were you
amazing.
two?
I'm almost 6 foot. Not quite.
And I'm
Okay.
like 5'7".
Yeah, I'm 6'1". I don't fit in bathtubs,
Okay.
and I want to. Like the
Little
biggest
known
bath-
fact, we've never seen Jardine in person.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Yes. No. I'm just like most people in the casual ones. I'm on the taller side. So
It's
yeah,
It's
just
a tall group,
so
isn't it?
it is. It's like
Mm.
Peaches is short, but short. But like Aaron and Pitts are like taller than me or as tall.
that's one of the weirdest things to me about like meeting like over COVID, like meeting people online and then you meet them in person. Because what did Rowan went to meet some
Oh,
of his coworkers, and what did they say to you?
They wouldn't stop talking about how tall I am because they all expected me to be much shorter. I guess from the way I comport myself,
You
or
come across as a short person
I
online.
just come across as a shorter person apparently. And then
Pretty
I
funny.
met somebody else at work who definitely like has a very big personality. He's very fun, and like I was like, and I guess this is just the thing inherent in it. I was like, oh man, this guy's got to be like 6'2". I don't know why I thought that. I just like, and no, he's like a little bit shorter than, like, he's shorter than I am. I'm like, I did not expect that at all. But like all night, and I was like, well, yeah, have a good night, like tall person. I'm like, I'm not like I'm not the tallest person here. First off, of everyone here gathered at this party.
Yeah, Rowan's very he's tall, but he's an average tall height. Like
Yeah, I'm middling. That's the
it
thing.
just made me laugh so much because I was just like, what is this short king energy that Rowan's giving off while he's working?
I'm short for men in my family. My dad's
Really?
6'4".
God,
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
giants.
Yeah, so I'm used to being around people who are taller than me. It's just a weird thing because I know I'm not short.
I hate it. I was always so jealous of short girls because, like, growing up as a girl, like, it's like, oh, girls are like petite and stuff. And I was like, I sprouted like so quickly. And I was like, why am I like 7 feet tall and everyone else is just like so cute? But now I love it.
Well, next time Mare and I are like back in Ontario, so probably in the summer, we'll meet everybody and hang out.
Dope.
But Mare's short; she's 5'2".
So jealous.
Yeah.
Coming for you, man.
I'm coming for you.
Coming for that height. I'm gonna get it.
Like,
And if you have
what?
any more questions about how research and funding work, you can ask her because she's a researcher.
Oh, that's so
Oh.
cool. What does she what's
Wait,
is
do you
are
actually
you
don't
allowed
know
to
what she
talk?
does?
No,
Yeah, I
I
can
I have
talk about it.
no idea.
She's a professor at U of A for the environmental engineering department.
Dang.
Spoiler, is that why you moved to Alberta?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. She was doing water research in like Switzerland, and then she was like, well, my postdoctorate contract's coming up. I want to be a professor. So then she was interviewing at a whole bunch of schools.
That's
That's really
awesome.
cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
My favorite part about the casual ones and meeting you all is like from a distance falling in love with all of your girlfriends and wives. Like I like them so much more than you guys, and I haven't met any of them.
Painful.
Well, you can meet her next time we come down.
Perfect. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love you guys too. Let's continue.
I was actually just thinking about like what you just shared. Like looking at these pictures, and like it reminded me of something that old, I think this is within the old like places where you could go have adult favors, like around the like Grecian peninsula. Apparently what they do is they would just have pictures of the things that like the people would do that you could pay for, because everyone had such different languages. No one, like, there were some common things, but like they would have sailors from everywhere, so someone would just be able to go up and be like, I want that.
I'll have one of those, please.
I'll have one of the. I'll have the number 4, please. Maybe
Picking
half
off
the
the
number
Asian
3.
menu. Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, I mean, I guess it was like a big part of like, I mean, not only telling their story, but like they're like an aspect of making sure that life went on as well. Like it was they were able to do things.
Well, if you think about it too, like not just like language, but like, you know, sex is very associated with slang, and like the slang might, like the words that they might use to describe something might be different, you know, not just in the language, but even like how you were like, I'm just saying in the UK, they used very different slang to mean the same things as things we say here.
I was totally thrown by snog when I first heard it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I have no idea what that is. And then
Really?
like, oh yeah, I had never heard of it before. I guess I was like, how old was I? 13, 14.
Oh, well, you're a kid. Of course not.
Yeah, like
I'd
I
be
remember
more
that
concerned
being
if
like,
it was like 2 years ago, and you're like, "What's
yeah,
wrong?
like, have you not heard of this?
I moved in. I was like,
Why are you the
Sheltered.
copywriter?"
Yeah, please don't know. I don't write about that stuff, okay?
this room in this apartment's really good for snagging. That's what Rowan writes in his articles.
Incredible.
All right,
Right.
Snogger, do you have an article?
I do have an article, and I will share the picture first because y'all need to see why I chose this article. First off,
Is it a cute
Um,
picture?
it's
The suspense
uh,
is killing me.
it's not. I mean, it's not cute. It's more fun, and everyone can see this again in our Discord.
In case you
there.
need to, the link for it is in chat.
I was just gonna say, can someone exclamation Discord, but the team's
That's
on
sure.
it. They freaking know.
That's sure.
Join our Discord. It's great. Super active. We all just talk to each other there all day. So do you want to talk
Yeah.
with us? I hope so.
Or other people in the community. You don't have to talk to
Yeah.
us.
Or yes,
You don't have to.
can't guarantee that you can talk to everyone's wives. Okay, there we go.
That's a separate Discord. I
Oh
have.
my god, this can't be real, right?
Oh, are you ready? So,
Okay, please describe.
NetGuard, the innovative drone that can save lives. So the concept is these 4 drones. If there's like fire or something in these buildings of like high altitude where people need to get out quickly, these drones will fly up to the tower and spread out this like not tarp, a net to catch you. And these things are just like floating at 4 corners. Just like
How big are the
image is
drones?
amazing.
This is such bullshit. There's no way.
I don't
This is a prototype at best.
I will
What if,
say
like a
the pictures are
350-pound man comes out of the window. Guess what? Those 4 drones are smashing into each other, and he's now plummeting to the ground inside of a net.
maybe they send 8. Who knows?
What's the weight limit for each drone?
Yeah.
That's what I need to know.
It's also strong enough to support the weight of an average adult. The net can also spend a long time in the air thanks to its static and rigid propellers.
Okay, I have lots of thoughts on this because, as Rowan knows, I am terrified of fires. I am terrified, not just of fire, like that's fine. I can light a candle. I am terrified that our apartment is going to burn down in the middle of the night. And so when the fire alarm goes or something, I like jump to it. But I used to live, when I first moved to Toronto, I lived on like the 14th floor or something. And I remember talking to one of my coworkers at the time, and her dad was a firefighter, and she's like, "Oh, so you live above like the height that that the ladder can go?" And I was like, "Excuse me, what?"
You
And she's
didn't
like,
know that there's
"Yeah."
a maximum height for those?
I didn't even think about it. Like, it just didn't even cross my mind. And so now, like, I can't remember how tall it is. Like, okay,
7 or 8 maybe. Yeah, it's not
5
that high.
floors. We live on the 9th floor, Rowan.
I've heard it's the 5th floor. I think
I thought it was taller than that. Well, it's okay because in our building, the balconies, like
Stagger.
it's like they stagger, and so I have calculated how I would get down across the balconies.
What's like the main like construction material for your building? Is it like concrete?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because that doesn't spread fire well. So unless the fire's in your apartment, you could probably just make it to the stairwell.
Okay, that is actually great news, and I appreciate you saying
And
that.
I thank you for
Your
this.
apartment building's not made out of like balsa wood, and it just like goes up in an inferno instantly.
I don't think so.
Exclusively a flammable material. You should watch this video. Look at this.
Yeah, all I'm
I'm
saying is
watching
that this seems made for me.
It's just
Seems
it's
like
obviously
bullshit.
it looks like it's obviously all renderings and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
even real photos, it's
Oh,
renderings?
Oh no. They're all-
Okay.
Who would be crazy enough to even test this? Yeah, let's jump from the 20th floor onto maybe drones that can hold my weight. No thanks.
Isn't that a joke? Like, who tested the first like shark-proof suit?
Yeah, well, who tested everything? How did they find
Yeah.
out this food was poisonous?
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Well,
love this is a great story. I love
Right?
this.
I was
it,
just
it
like,
would be
what?
nice if this would ever be real, but this is like 100 years in the future when drones actually have enough upward
Well,
like thrust to hold people.
it 100% looks like a 90s like far-flung future thing with like, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, and of course we have the drones that go and save people from buildings. You're like, oh, that's a neat idea, but you can imagine that like CG scene of like this happening.
Well, like the current like drones, like how much they can actually hold. It's not a lot, and they're
Yeah.
not small.
And I
These
feel
would
like
have
they
to
can
be
get like
huge.
bumped out of place so easily. Like, what if you land on the drone instead of like the net?
Oh,
Like, you're
you're just
done
dead.
for. You're
Just
dead.
if you're making me jump out of a 20-story building, just give me a parachute.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fucking
like I would
wild.
feel safer.
You know what drones are good for? Fireworks
Mhm.
shows, and that's it.
I did
Oh, those
see
are pretty cool.
I
I
did see
think those are
some cool
so cool.
photos for drones. They were
Ooh.
recreating like destroyed ancient buildings. So
That's
they would
dope.
show. I saw it last night. It shows like the destroyed like remnants of the building, and then the drones lit up and built the rest of it. And they did it for a
Oh.
bunch of the structures. I'll see if I can find it quickly.
That's really neat. Yeah, throw that in the Discord because I think as a dog lover, and although our dog's not afraid of anything really like that, he was really afraid. Spoiler, but when everyone was over, we had some, and we were recording our top secret project. We had balloons, and then people started popping the balloons at the end of the night, and he was very
Oh,
scared of that.
yeah.
But he's not really scared of fireworks or anything. But there are lots of dogs that are, and if we can replace, uh, the majority of fireworks shows with drone shows, that'd be dope. And I feel like they can do a lot more.
So I found the thing, but it looks like they deleted it.
Oh.
It was on
Copyright.
like Reddit on interesting as fuck.
Well, everyone scroll Reddit and you might find it.
Here, if you want to see a photo of it, I think I'll just link like one of the photos.
Yeah, that would be awesome because I think
It'll
that's
be a
really
gigantic fucking link though, so have fun with that.
Ooh.
cool. Excellent.
But yeah, like this in the next photo.
That's so cool.
It shows, yeah, like fully recreates like the structure of the building.
Great idea.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
loud.
Oh yeah, I'm
Real
sure.
loud.
Whoa.
Long story short, drones are great, but not for life saving. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't trust it.
Drones gonna start signing up. They're like looking for people.
I
Start signing.
have to talk about this. Look at this guy. Like, whoop. No problem.
Like they're not stable enough to deliver Amazon packages consistently yet. You want to jump and hope to God that it doesn't kill you.
Yeah. I do like the if that gets to a level where drones are consistently delivering Amazon packages, because Bro knows this, but like I would love to live out in the woods one day. But some of my stipulations, I was talking with Aaron about this yesterday too, is that like you got to have great internet. We can't have bad internet out there. Like I'm not trying to live off the grid. I'm just trying to live in the woods. And the second thing is that I need delivery. Like I need Amazon because that's just how I live my life. And I don't know if they could perfect the drone thing.
Well, I will say, since I'm probably the person in the group you know the least about, you probably don't know that my mom and my stepdad live out in the boonies in northern Ontario in a maple syrup farm.
You know what though? I didn't know they lived out in the booties, but do you know what I have in my cupboard right now?
I don't know, some of the maple syrup because I keep bringing it down.
Yeah.
But internet is expensive, and unless you get Starlink, it's not good. Just throwing that out there.
That's what concerns me.
And you don't need drones to deliver. Like Canada Post will just deliver shit,
Well,
and
they'll-
you can just
they'll get there?
drive into town and pick up packages that don't go straight to your house.
All right. Well, I think I can do that. The internet thing is a big deal though.
Yeah, no, their internet there garbage. Holy shit, garbage. Like this is 20
concerning.
years ago. This would be kind of acceptable,
Yeah.
Wow.
and it's expensive.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
We're staying in the city for the foreseeable future. All right. I'm going to talk about
It's either
another
one or
thing.
the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, well, I've always like kind of had this idea that I like the idea of it, but since watching Rings of Power, and I am super obsessed with the Hobbit pre what are they called, Hardfoots. I am super obsessed with them, especially the children and how they live their lives like so fairly. And every time they come up on the screen, I'm like, this is what I want. Like, I want to raise these children.
Raise
And then
feral
Rowan's
children.
like, absolutely not. We're not doing that.
You
So
heard
I
about
guess-
the controversy about the Harfoots, though, right?
Oh no, what happened?
Well, it's how everybody was freaking out about like, oh my god, they're using people of color and all that stuff. The other thing was like, yeah, they made the like primitive hobbits Irish.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah.
It's like
traveling
that's
Oh, I
kind of
didn't hear about
offensive.
that. Interesting. I did not hear about that, or like I didn't like read anything about that.
It was far less popular than oh my god, they made a black guy an elf.
Yeah.
But it was one of the controversies. Like, really, you made the indigenous people like fucking Irish? Could you
It
be
was a
more
great- it's
offensive
a
to
great
Irish
point.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I
But
wonder how
I like
many
the
like
show.
what are they called? Like diversity consultants or whatever that like shows have now.
Yeah.
Like I wonder, did they have any? They must have had some.
I don't know. But I'm sure they had some, but at the same time, it's Amazon, so they might have had none
Yeah.
because
It's a great
Amazon
point.
doesn't care about people.
Amazon, we don't care about people. Buy her stuff.
Yeah.
So, in the U.S.,
We return to the U.S.
I'm gonna be honest. I really skimmed this article because I was setting up the show, but
It's okay.
I think it's very cool because it's talking about same-sex partners in the States who weren't able to qualify for survivor benefits, essentially, with their spouse was part of the military. And we all know how freaking crazy it is down there with same-sex partners and, legality and whatnot. And now people who were able to marry and previously were not able to get these benefits at all are eligible now. And so,
Nice.
the States
good.
is treating people like people. And that I love that. You can't go wrong with that.
Yes. Well, there for a long time it was don't ask, don't tell. So like, how would you be able to claim survivor benefits when you weren't allowed to tell that you were their husband or wife?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean,
That and
like,
you're in the U.S., so you couldn't be a husband or wife.
I
This
just want
is a
all
good-
my money to please go to my roommate or my very good friend that I live with. Like,
For the last 20 years, yeah.
yeah, jeez.
it is actually wild to me though that like you like grow up, like you're going to classes and stuff like in the 90s. I'm not sure if this is like a universal experience, it's just me, and the teachers are telling you like, oh yeah, and Oscar Wilde lived with his best male friend for like and little Rebecca's like, yeah, that checks out.
So you had a roommate. That's cool.
Yeah, like, yeah, some
That's
people are
true.
just single forever, like it makes sense. And then like looking back and I'm like, how dumb was I that I just took that for face value. I was like, yep, probably.
But you're also, in the 90s, what, you were like 4?
That's a great point.
So,
Yeah, I am a
like,
baby after all.
Yeah. Like, it's more concerning if, I'm in the 90s and I think, yeah, you just had a roommate. Like, fuck, you're a teenager then. Be better.
Just open your mind. Yeah, I just think it's so funny. I don't know what it's like, and I don't think we have any Gen Z in our community, but if we do, tell me. Like,
How young do you have
what
to
are
be
they
for Gen
teaching?
Z?
What?
How young do you have to be in Gen Z?
I think it's 25 and under right now.
I
Something
think there's
like
a
that.
couple people then.
Okay. Tell me, are you learning in schools that
Oscar
Oscar
Wilde is
Wilde
gay.
lived with a roommate, or are they just telling you the truth?
Specifically Oscar
I need to
Wilde.
know because, I really remember that because I
Oh, no.
loved Oscar Wilde. Like I was obsessed with Oscar Wilde when I was in school.
Telling.
I know that's what I'm saying. Maybe I would have figured things out earlier if I'd like understood that Oscar Wilde was gay and that I loved him. But we'll never know, I guess. All right, someone else take this away,
I can do my second one.
please.
Okay, so sorry, I'm still recovering from a cold.
All right.
You're okay.
So a British physicist named Jess Wade. She's been going on the internet, specifically Wikipedia, and for the last few years, adding posts for women and people of color on Wikipedia, because it started when she she went to she met somebody called Kim Cobb, who was an American climatologist, and she was really inspired and she wanted to find more information about the person, and then realized even though they're like a scientist and a professional in the field, no Wikipedia information about them at all. And then found out that the internet doesn't have a whole lot of information about women in STEM as like a whole. So in the last 5 years, she's made over 1,700 Wikipedia posts. It's kind of
Amazing.
like every night she does one or like researches for one. And she's
That's
even
super
got
cool.
she's even got workshops now where she can like teach people like the process for like going through research articles to then be able to talk about these people. Just so people are aware that, you know, it's not entirely a male dominated field, even though for the most part it is. But like women should be represented because they're important as well.
I have no free time, but immediately you said that, and I was like, I want to do that. That sounds fun. I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm almost certain like Mare doesn't have a Wikipedia post, but you know she probably should since she's, you know, a woman in science.
All right, give me a week.
All right, I'll give you a week so you can read through all of her papers. And
No, I'm gonna call Mare and I'm gonna be like, I need you to summarize.
Give me a brief overview.
And then tell me where I need to put my citations.
Tell me the last 12 years of your work, quick.
Yeah, something like that.
Quickly.
I'm sure that would not take any time at all. It's a great point though, because I do think like, I mean, we all know this stuff that like, you know, Victors write everything and cis white men write everything. And like over the past few years, we've seen things kind of like, I don't know, Einstein's wife, brilliant genius, helped a lot with all of his work. But again, I was learning this in freaking school, man.
I'd never heard of that. Is that recent? Did that come out recently?
I really hope that I didn't just make that up, but I swear that's something.
What do you start this?
I'm actually going in there also writing Wikipedia articles, but they're just things I wish were true.
That'd be so good.
I think that's real, and I can't look it up because it'll crash the stream. So someone else
Rowan
knows.
can do it. But
Right.
yeah, like I know like representation is pretty important, especially for like people from like minorities or that kind of thing, to like see that other people similar to them have done it. So like Mare's the only like Filipino like professor at the entire school. And yeah, and so there was like some awards show, or not show, like award ceremony for like undergraduate students or like bachelor students. And there was like one or two Filipinos who'd won an award, and they specifically went up to Mare saying like, you know, knowing that there's a professor like in the engineering field or at the school, you know, it gives them hope for if they want to continue their education. Like, yeah, at least I know someone else is capable of doing it.
That's
And
so lovely.
She was very happy when she came home, and it was like almost putting in her tears. So like every now and then that kind of stuff, it even affects the people who are inspiring others.
I have to say this is not nearly as impressive as that, but when I run the like all girl D&D stuff that I do, it's huge to me. Like I go and like, first of all, so many women sign up, and they're so excited to play. And the number one thing I hear from them is just like, I didn't feel like I didn't want to go to a table and be the only girl playing. I didn't like, and some of the experiences they have are real shit too, from like just like being in random groups and stuff, and like them getting excited about it, and like or they'll be like, I've been thinking about like jamming, and I'm like, oh my god, yes. And then I come home from those games so much more excited that I come home. Like I still come home from all my games excited, but like those ones
Painful.
really do it for me. Sorry, babe. Your games are great too.
Ouch.
Like Mare's talking about like an interest in D&D because she got really into fantasy, like novels and that kind of stuff, like a couple years ago. But yeah, she's just nervous to play with people, and especially like because I originally asked like if you want, you can play with us for a bit, and yeah, it's just kind of daunting.
Well, I would always be down to run a Wives and Girlfriends of the Casual Ones D&D game.
Be careful. That's how it starts.
Hey, if Mare wants to play D&D, I'm happy with that. Like shit.
This
like,
is another
play
idea
D&D with her at some point.
Yeah. This is another idea you should float by her that I thought of a few weeks ago, and I just need the free time to start it. But I want to start a feminist fantasy book club where women just, and like, I'm not saying that the fantasy books have to be feminist books. I'm just saying that we and it's not exclusive to women to be in the book club. The idea is we read these books and then talk about them in a feminist perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mare loves to read, so like I'm sure she'd be interested in it at the very least. But
Mare, give me a shout.
Yeah, she's asleep right now because it's
have my phone number
fucking early still. All right.
Yep.
But I will mention it to her when she eventually wakes up in like an hour.
Perfect. If enough people do it, if enough people are interested, then I have to do it. There's no option not to. So, right. Aaron, start making a logo. All right, Ro. What's your last article?
All right. Yes, I do. So I do have another one that's another techie one, but hopefully a little bit more inspiring than the last one. But it's called WeWalk, which is basically a like Bluetooth enabled like smart companion walking stick for the visually disabled, but it's visually impaired. Sorry. It's supposed to be about like experiencing better mobility, but it's like a smart cane, so it accesses like navigation, exploration features. What do we got here? We've got like detects above ground obstacles with ultrasound and like vibrates into the cane. We've got keep one hand free and leave your smartphone in your pocket, and that your voice can actually command the cane for like quick smartphone control, and like asking where the next destination is, so you can like access Google Maps, be like, hey, can you take me to the coffee shop or like wherever it is you go, and it'll like tell you how far away it is. Accessible experience like no other. Okay, like destination tracking. Yeah, again, limitless exploration. I guess you also can have your like public transpo stuff on it, so you can just like tap it to go on.
That's really cool. Oh, sorry. If you keep, I just have thoughts on this already.
But it's got it's got its own voice assistant in there as well. So like I think it looks kind of chunky at the moment, but I think that's kind of like how all tech starts. It's all kind of hefty, but like yeah. Oh, there's another video on it. Okay, but yeah, I thought it was kind of like a neat concept for, I guess, something I don't know very much about, but like that element of having it just all in one thing, so you don't have to be like having your phone out and relying on everything. So
Yeah, that's pretty useful, especially when you can't see very well or at all.
yeah.
It's good. It's like it's really good for on the fly because like I remember when I was younger, one of my mom's good friends was blind and had she was like an activist and stuff too, like and spokesperson and all this kind of stuff. And she had like a seeing eye dog. And I remember her talking about like memorization is like so huge. So like it's just you have your roots memorized and and like as soon as like construction goes up or like any sort of change to your environment really throws it off and like to be able to have a device that can so you're not just like having to experience this like jarring thing that you can have something that can actually help you navigate that is pretty huge.
Probably brings it up. It probably says like, oh, there's there's construction on your normal route. You will
Yeah.
need to take a right here.
That would
If
be
it can
my
access
thought.
Google Maps, for sure.
Yeah.
Shows you the best route around traffic impairments.
Hopefully not going to put too many dogs out of jobs though.
Our tech is taking our dogs' jobs.
I've been waiting the entire article to say that.
I was going to ask if there was a colorblind feature, but you said it's for the
Let's
visually
look into
impaired.
it. Yeah, that's true. What do we
Have
got
you ever
here?
gotten to try those color correcting glasses or whatever?
No, because they're like $500. They're expensive.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna level with you. Like, I haven't seen colors properly my whole life. There's no way I'm gonna fucking cry when I put on some glasses. Like all those videos you see of people, oh my god, it's red. No,
Is
it's
that what
not
it looks
true.
like?
Rowan,
It's
can you
bullshit.
return the glasses real quick?
Yeah, no
If
problem.
we're not gonna get a crying
No,
reaction.
that's
I don't
fine.
want to see it.
It takes
How
a
do they
lot
work?
of effort. So there was they were originally made for surgeons to better see veins during surgery.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
And it just so happened that it did some correcting for like red-green color blindness. Not fully, and if you've got really bad, like it doesn't do as much as you'd hope. So, but it doesn't like fully correct color blindness, but you'll be able to like tell the difference between stuff properly now.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's just so you could see veins better while you're doing surgery.
I mean, isn't that how the best of inventions come along or discoveries come along? Is you're doing something else? You're like, hey,
Yeah.
this penicillin thing is pretty crazy.
That's how aspartame was invented. They were like doing some like medical research, like shit, this is really sugary, and it was like, oh, it's 10,000 times sweeter than sugar, and
Well,
it's basically healthy.
That's Rowan's favorite thing.
Yeah, drink that all the time.
Thanks for discovering aspartame so that my diabetic fiance can drink pop whenever he feels like
All the
it.
time.
I'm just kidding. That's interesting. I also don't think that I'm not a super emotional person anyways, but like I can't think of like something like that where like I would like break down in tears.
They're like Logan Paul video when he does it and he's like crying. It's such horseshit. There's no
Yeah,
way.
well,
There's no way.
that is
That's a
Logan
color.
Paul.
You spent your whole life not seeing them properly. It's not going to be that big of a shock.
Wait, Logan Paul's colorblind?
Yeah, he did one of the videos where he put on colorblind glasses, and he just starts tearing up. It's like, holy shit! Stop the act, man.
I guarantee you, Logan Paul can cry on command when he loses his boxing matches. Ayo, is that the right Paul brother? I don't know.
It is. Jake Paul's the one who's like super horrible person now.
They both were at some point, though, right?
Yes, they both were. But
Okay.
Logan Paul has done a lot of rebranding.
Good marketing, it'll get you. Well, that's very cool, Ro. And thank you for sharing that. Let's move on to our next segment, which is things that we're looking forward to. I will start off. by saying I'm very much looking forward to our Extra Life streams. A little plug for everyone that are coming up. We have an October one that we are planning on doing something a little spooky. I believe, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to because
Sure you
I don't
can.
care. I think we're going to have a Phasmophobia stream with
Mhm.
all of our little scaredy cats, our scarediest of cats on the screen.
Scariest.
Not the scariest of cat.
Who's the scarediest of cats?
Brickley's not participating anymore. He's unavailable.
Oh no,
He lied. He said he
he
was
was
going
the
to do
linchpin.
it.
Yeah,
We were
earlier this
streaming.
week, it's talked to me about it, so I'm subbing in.
Are you
So
a
we need
scaredy cat at
streaming.
all?
No.
Mm.
Sorry. You're gonna get like some like, oh,
Oh, there's the ghost.
spooky. Yeah.
All right. I want you to cry at some point during the stream.
I'll see if I can muster it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm very interested because like I have not played, and I'm the kind of person who I think I would be fine, but I have no idea. And I'm not Rowan and I can't both, like, we don't have the computer power to both play it and stream it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be scared.
I think it's like and again, I've only ever watched it, but like I think the thing is it's that point of you are specifically going and trying to find a ghost. Like the whole thing is you're ghost hunting, and you have to try to figure out what the ghost is before you piss it off and it kills you. So the whole concept is you have to go into this house knowing that you're making this thing angrier in trying to find it, and you have to get out in time to be like, this is the kind of ghost we found, and here's the evidence we have.
You never want to make a ghost angry. That's the last thing you want to do to a ghost. So okay, well, can't wait for that. And then we have our 24-hour Extra Life stream, which I think we're all gonna probably start putting out some fundraising, social medias and just notices to the community and to our friends and family. Something that the team does every year, but Rowan and I get to join for the first time. Very excited. We're going to bring our dog to Pitts's house. So that's going to be an adventure in itself. And I don't know. All I know is that at the end of the night, everyone drinks hot sauce straight from the jar and plays.
That's at like hour 23. It's rough for them.
Yeah, it sounds awful. And the two of us here on this screen will not be participating, I believe.
Oh.
Unless you participate from home. I don't know.
No, I've never once done Hot Wheels with them. Like, I know I'm not great with hot sauces, and like when we started it, it was like, okay, like 1,000,000 Scovilles is a lot. Like maybe we should cap it at that. Now that Pitts just ordered like the Apollo sauce from Hot Ones, which is like the hottest pepper in the world. It's like 3.5 or 5 million Scoville units. Fuck no. Fuck no.
I'm concerned, to be honest. We have watched, and like there's some people who can't handle it.
You never saw the aftermath of Hot Wheels.
I don't want to see.
The stream ends and like people suffer.
Oh my god! Why do this to yourselves? For the entertainment? For the kids? Like, yeah, that's a great point. It is for the kids. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Which mostly because like, why? The thing is, I do want to play Mario Kart because I love it.
If you play, you got to do it.
But that's the thing.
No half measures.
And I just can't commit to that. So I don't know. I'm a baby. Rowan, you can do it?
I'm gonna call it here that probably I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get to like the halfway point and be like, I'm really sorry, guys, and then they're gonna be like, no, you can't stop. You've started now.
And I know how good you are with peer pressure, so that's gonna be easy.
They fixed it so you can't do it that way anymore. Because last year they randomized the order.
Oh, right.
Oh my god. Okay, maybe I'll luck out.
So I think Aaron or Pitts got like the hottest one right at the beginning. And like
No.
instant hiccups, and like the rest of
I
it wasn't
remember
so
that.
bad, but like yeah, someone got hit hard early. There's
That's
no build up to
concerning.
it.
I do like the idea of the buildup because it feels like a more fair fight in terms of like if you get the hottest one at first, like yeah, you're like that sucks, but at the same time, like everything after that is gonna probably be fine because your mouth like can't like process.
Yeah. The problem is like when they were doing it like weakest to strongest, there's stuff like the bomb that it might not be the spiciest. It's up there, but it's worse than the spiciest.
Yeah, we
So
have
like you don't want to hit like, oh my god, I want to die. Wait, this is spicy, but I can handle it. You want, and now you just have a
You see?
randomness included. So
Oh
like
no.
I was telling so at the for work we go to like this photo studio, right, and do photos, and there's a great culture there. But I was telling because our photographer does sometimes like put on our stream, but I was telling him about this thing in general because they're really into hot sauces there, and they actually have a whiteboard in the photo studio, and there's two titles. One says "Who's the Bomb," and the other is "One Chip Challenge." And basically, if you go to the studio, and especially if we order Mexican for lunch, um, they just do the challenge over lunch for funsies. And I remember like because Ron just has like a huge array of hot sauces out, and like I'll like they're hot sauce connoisseurs. Like I'll pick the ones that like I actually enjoy the taste of and stuff. But like every time it's like, Rebecca, you gonna do this one? I'm like, no, like I'm just having lunch. Like, it's a Wednesday, man. Like I'm not gonna do that.
oh
This is not what I came here for.
But every time the list grows longer because like there's
Yeah.
rotating clients coming in, and I'm just like, what? Who's doing this? So
Yeah.
that's my story.
yeah.
Jardine, what are you excited about?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 24-hour stream. It's always
Mhm.
fun. Thankfully, that happens over like a long weekend for me, so I actually get extra time to prep
Oh,
and not die.
that's
Because
very nice.
starting at like 3 or 5 p.m. and going to 3 or 5 p.m., it's rough. So
Yeah. Thankfully, we're starting on Friday and finishing on Saturday, which means we
yes,
should be able to recover on Sunday. But we're all
yes.
over 30, and I think need more time
Need
than
some
that
time.
to recover.
We used to start Saturday and end at like Sunday at noon, and we'd have to go home and go to bed because we'd have work on Monday.
That sounds awful.
That wasn't fun. When we
Yeah, no.
decided to just start Friday evening, it was better because Sunday's a day of just recovery.
Yeah, I sleep a lot. Like, I don't know. And I plan to stay up late. I guess. I don't know if I
Very
gotta
few
stay up
people
more.
actually
yeah?
do the 24 hours. Like Aaron usually can do it. I
Mhm.
get close. I think 2 years ago I did it, and I felt car sick in the last game we were playing.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
we
that.
were doing like this wobbly person game, and I'm sitting
Yes.
there
Oh,
like
yes.
struggling. It's like I'm gonna vomit if I keep looking at the screen. So I like told the guys like someone else play. I sat there looking like away from the monitor because
Yeah.
god, it's bad.
Rowan made me download that game right after and play with
Yeah.
him, and I freaking hate that game.
The game was fun, but like after 23 hours of being awake,
No, that
god,
sounds
it
yeah,
was so bad. It was
that
rough.
sounds real bad. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great stream.
Yeah.
Anything else? What else is happening in your life?
Just school.
How's that going? How's your school D&D group going?
Well, last week was a holiday, so we missed the session. And this
Mhm.
week, 2 people in the group are sick, so we missed the session.
Oh, so
Uh,
classic D&D.
yeah.
Mhm.
But so far it's been fun. It's less role play based and more combat oriented.
Mhm.
So
I do find that sometimes with like groups outside of casual ones, obviously, like we role play a lot because it's a stream and you're performing D&D and all this stuff. And I love the role play part, but like there are some groups that just want to do it mechanically, and that's can also be fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying playing my character, but yeah, like doing 3 combats in a single session is a lot. Holy shit.
Wow. That is
Wow.
Yeah, it's
What
like
level are you guys at?
I think we're 4.
Okay, so you have some things to kind of tide you through, but wow.
Yeah, the first session was level 1, and then we bumped up to level 3 immediately because I nearly died in the first session.
Oh, I
Game's like, whoop.
Like I
I
got
hate
one
jamming
tap
to
and
level
knocked
1.
unconscious in the first round of combat, and I was the party's cleric. Yeah, we're level 4 currently. I think we ended last session in the middle of a combat because we didn't have time to finish. I have 5 health right now.
Ooh,
Okay.
so not great.
Yeah, but I do like the character I made. He's fun.
What kind of character?
I did a light domain cleric, so like a blaster cleric,
Yeah.
but also one who like fights with a longsword.
Not
And
very classic cleric. I like it.
Yeah, so I talked to the DM because Flaming Sphere kind of sucks garbage, and it's one of like the spells you get for the subclass. It's like, can I get Flame Blade instead? It's like same level spell, just different list. He's like, yeah, go for it. So I go around with a flaming longsword and attack people.
Dope.
Kind of reminds me of that guy from Game of Thrones almost, where he's like
The Lord of Light people.
Yeah.
Stannis Baratheon.
I mean, the same genre.
Yeah.
Light cleric, you know what I'm saying. Ro, what are you excited about?
Well, yeah. Even though our Halloween plans were sort of torpedoed, I'm excited to start working on the costume, which is like, I'm slowly running out of time. So I'm hoping it turns out, and even if it doesn't, that will teach me for like next time if I want to do something like this. But usually for costumes, I try to do something like different that I build to learn from, and then I just never approach it again. So I learn something and then I don't really put that to use. Like,
do you want to share with the crowd what you're being?
Yeah. So we had a concept of doing sort of like not from the movie Spider-Verse, but just like Spider-Verse characters. So they'd be like any kind of Spider-Man you've ever heard of. So like, we're talking with a group, and someone was like, well, like, how many? I think there's only like 4. I'm like, oh no, beyond the movies. I just shared this list, and like, whoa,
there are so many spider people.
Yes.
So many spiders. So
are you being the Spider-Man who's just spiders?
Oh no, but that was like, I was like, that might be a consideration. The one that's like slowly turning into a spider.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a Spider-Man who was like just like a consciousness of spiders inside of a suit.
Ooh. Oh, that's terrifying.
So it's like tons of little tiny spiders inside of a Spider-Man suit. I thought that was one of them.
We'll look it up because there probably is. There's
100%.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You gotta be literal. But sorry, Ro.
No worries. But I think I'm gonna go as Iraq Knight and try to go off the popularity of Moon Knight at the same time. But basically, he's from this comic book series where I don't think it's Thanos. I think it's Gamora. Basically wants to do the same thing as Thanos, but instead of killing everybody to half the population, she combines everybody to half the population. So like Spider-Man and Moon Knight get shoved together.
Okay.
Iron Man and Thor are this like get put together. Like there's all these like.
All right.
I'm like, okay,
that's cool.
I'm a little worried it's gonna look piecemeal. It's gonna
Halloween. It sounds like the type of plot that a comic book writer came up with. Like they came up with the idea of Spider-Man and Moon Knight, or what, like those people being combined, and they were like, and then we write some reason why that happened. Like
it's got to be. Yeah, they probably had this idea of like, let's like one of my favorite things growing up, or comic series growing up, was the What If series,
Mhm.
and
That's
it's
always
basically
fun.
just like, yeah, it was a lot of cool. It's like, what if Rogue got the power of Thor? Or what if, like, it was literally just like, what if the X-Men died in their first ever expedition? And I've ever since then I've liked these sort of like what if, like one-off comics kind of thing. Like there's one where it's sort of like a medieval Justice League, and like what would that look like? And just with that concept, it's sort of like, okay, like what if Iron Man and Thor were the same person, or like what would this look like? I feel like it's someone's just like, what if we just combine these like characters and see what's you? And then, like you said, like why would that happen?
Yeah, just write something. I think the Arachnite thing will look really cool once we're able to put all the pieces together. I think it's just we're not professional cosplayers, so it's every Halloween it's just us learning new techniques.
Yeah, and trying to get the closest looking things, right? So it's like it's not the exact costume like spider portion. So it's like, trying to use the PS4 Spider-Man costume to then work that in, and then like, oh, the only kind of uh, capes you can get online are like very kind of like silky, like weird kind
It's
of
it's like velveteen.
like a
The
weird
cape
belt.
that
Yeah, that's what
came.
it is. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not what I was intending when I bought that, but okay, let's see what we can do here.
Ooh, tell them all your backup Spider-Verse character.
Oh,
You have
Spider
a
Cop.
backup Spider Cop?
Yeah, oh, it's phenomenal. It's basically just like, imagine a police officer who just puts on a Spider-Man outfit underneath his outfit, underneath his like uniform,
Oh, yeah, okay.
with a mustache
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's got a mustache on top of the
on
mask.
top of it.
And he wears
Yeah.
aviators.
Yeah. I think it's so
Okay.
funny, and it's something we have to do at some point, even if it's not this Halloween, because I think it's hilarious. I'm
Oh,
I
going
think
as Spider
that'll be a
Punk.
good backup.
Spider who?
Spider Punk.
Okay.
It's a
Is it
punk
just
Spider-Man. That's it. And I was so proud of this, what felt like to me a very original idea. And then we were walking around Fan Expo, and when
you
someone
found the
wearing
Spider Punk?
someone Spider Punk and a Gwen Stacy Spider Punk, and I was just like,
Oh,
oh, I guess that's not very original. But I have heard that people are speculating that Spider Punk will be in the second Spider Verse movie. So I feel like maybe there is some like increased interest in that character now because of that. So
that's cool.
yeah.
Well,
Are you
if
guys doing
anybody
anything for Halloween?
no. Not now. Mayor and I don't really do anything. I don't think we've been invited to a party, so just relax at home.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But the 4 different Spider-Men that we talked about, I posted them in the Discord, including Spiders Man.
Yes,
Spiders,
spiders, man.
man.
And you
I
can see
love
him.
that.
It's just a human-shaped collective of spiders with a Spider-Man mask on.
Yeah, I need to look at that.
Oh no.
It's worse than you
Oh
think.
no. How would you do that? Like, I wonder, actually, maybe what you could do is you just buy a Spider-Man mask and then you cover yourself in like steel wool that you like paint black.
Yeah, or maybe get like a printed like leotard or like onesie thing, and it's just like an image of like tiny spiders all over you.
That could be cool.
Oh man, look at this
Yeah.
guy.
I can't, but I will.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It's so good. That 100% should have been my thing.
Oh, there's still
Wow.
time.
Yeah. There's always next year, and you can always wear your costume to the Extra Life, like 24-hour event, if you
Ooh,
can't get it done in time for Halloween.
that's
I will
true.
wear my costume
Go for it.
regardless. That's a great idea. No one else will be dressed up, which makes it even better.
Well, Rowan will.
Oh, so true.
Spiders, man.
And if you tell Brickley, I'm sure he'll dress up as something. He's got no shame.
Well, we're doing Spider-Verse with them, so he's doing Miles Morales, and
Of course.
Ange is doing Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, I think.
Spider-Gwen?
Is she doing Spider-Gwen, or it's like a
Oh, Venom Spider-Gwen.
yeah, it's Venom
Right.
Spider-Gwen.
Okay.
I can't remember. I
I
think
like
that
the
I think
anti-venom.
no.
Okay.
I actually don't know what the story is there,
don't
but
either.
I just
Anti-venom
Yeah,
is just the white venom. It's when
yeah.
he
But
becomes good.
I think it is a Venom symbiote taking over Spider-Gwen, I believe.
Okay.
I think so too.
There's so many like multiverse spider people. It's so hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay, we're in the last section of our show. The last 15 minutes of the time that I've decided we're doing this show for. And because Rowan has to get to a sake tasting later.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Sounded
City
weird.
living.
City living. This is the part of the show where we do our recommendations. And we talk about things that we've been watching lately and Rebecca and playing lately. And Rebecca vamps until she can think of what she has been watching or playing lately. I don't know. The other night I played Inside. That kind of like it's not. It's a side scroller. It's kind of creepy vibes. Ro, do you have a better explanation of what Inside is?
Well, it's inspired by. Oh my God, that just went out of my head. Inspired by the game.
Inside the game.
Yeah.
Yes. So inside. So basically, I think you are a kid or somebody who kind of is going through some sort of undisclosed government facility or some sort of like research facility, and like weird stuff is going on. But it's from the makers of that other side scroller where you're this little kid going through the shadow realm.
Yeah, there's the immediate vibe that I felt.
Yeah.
Limbo, I think.
Limbo, and it doesn't start with a P at all. Limbo.
Yeah.
But I've been very much enjoying that because it's chill enough that I can play it while I'm doing something else, but it's also it gives me the vibes that I want on a Halloween month. And that's it. I mean, we've really been. Oh, I will. You know what? I always got to echo this. It's Working Moms. If you've never seen Working Moms, watch it. It's very funny. It's set and filmed, and it's Canadian. It's all based in Toronto. And actually, one of the tertiary characters, used to work at the coffee shop that I would go to at my old agency, like at Evergreen Brickworks. There's like a coffee shop as part of the restaurant, and she worked there. And then a bunch of us started watching that show unrelated, and we're like, hey, yo, that's the girl from the coffee shop, which I thought was very cool. But it's very funny. It's a little irreverent, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think they're on their third or fourth season now.
That's cool.
But
yeah.
it is a nice approach to like, and I think not that a lot of people are doing this, but I think like it's this thing that people are doing now where it's a very open look at what it's like to be a parent, like especially the early seasons. It's not like this like everything's perfect all the time. It's like sometimes it's really hard and you are frustrated and you like, but I think in that is just you get more connected to these characters who seem like real people as opposed to like, oh, I just made these cupcakes as well as all this stuff for my child and all this. So it's yeah.
The kind of women who will like be like, my kid's an asshole. And like, that's okay. And I'm like, I appreciate that because I think my dog is the cutest thing in the world, but he's an asshole sometimes. Like it just is what it is. And like, sometimes kids are assholes, and
it's true.
It's just true. So yes, 100% Reco Working Moms.
All right.
Jardine, what do you got?
I just finally, like, as of 2 days ago, caught up with The Walking Dead.
Oh, I forgot that you were doing that.
I've been grinding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on season 11 now.
Wow.
There's
That's so many.
4 episodes left in the show, and they haven't aired yet.
That's so you're
I'm
almost
caught
done.
up. I'm caught up. I'm waiting for the episodes to air. I really like it. Holy shit! I was not
Yeah?
expecting to like it as much as I did.
Mm.
The first like episode, like season 3 and like 2, 3, and 4 were rough just because it was like during the writers' strike or whatever, and it just the pacing was off and everything. After that, the show gets really good.
Is it one of those shows that because there are so many seasons, like noticeably deteriorates later on, or
No, because
good?
people die. Spoilers. So it's a fairly rotating cast.
Ah,
Like there are
I
some people who have been in the show from the beginning, but very few.
Mhm.
And when they die, like they make it like a memorable moment. Like these people are who see it like suffer, and they go through PTSD like all throughout the seasons and stuff, and they have to
We
like
had
recover from that. It's good.
we had a friend. Do you know what Nat did on The Walking Dead?
Something with Mark. I think it would interview people as well. So I don't know what her other job was, but she used to interview the directors and things
Yeah,
as well as
I
part
just
of.
know that she worked with
No, that's
on
cool.
something like that. And yet I still good friend of mine, haven't watched the show. Every time I ask her, what's the best part of your career? She says Walking Dead, and I go, okay.
Well,
That's the end of that.
even though it's like season 11 is the finale, they've got 2 spin-offs coming out or from like the main cast members spin-offs
Oh.
that they announced
Because
like a couple weeks ago.
one's going, right? One isn't one already going, or it's supposed to be like just before.
There's Fear the Walking Dead that's on like season 6 or 5 or something, and that is actually happening like it ends during the like time gap that they do in The Walking Dead because they like time skip 10 years at one point.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And like Fear the Walking Dead ends during that period. But no, they've got like 2 new spin-offs. That's like City of the Dead is when a couple characters go to New York. That's going to be coming out next year, I guess. And I think they have another one where one of the characters is going to be in Europe.
Because I was just thinking,
That's pretty cool.
like I guess the different cities makes them different, but I was just kind of like how do you do a spin-off of a show that's about what like it's about living in a post-apocalyptic zombie world.
Yeah.
What's the spin-off about? Isn't it the spin-off just also about that, but just in
Yeah.
different cities?
Yeah, kind of. The zombies, though they're a threat, are by no means the main villains in the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like for like 3 seasons, they brought in like there was a villain called Negan who's like the main villain, and it's like they're fighting another group of survivors for like control over stuff.
Interesting.
And like the shit gets dark, and that was when like they had the like everybody was freaking out because they killed off a couple like cast members super violently.
Oh,
Like this is like season 6, so this is like 5-6 years ago. There's no
right.
spoilers at this point. Negan bashes 2 main cast members heads in with a baseball bat in front of them, like in front of the group. Like he has
That's
them on their knees
wild.
and he just takes his baseball bat and smashes, and like you see him like hitting the ground where their skull would have been and just making hearing squishes.
I think I
So
do
violent.
remember hearing about this though.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is fucking great as Negan. He's so good.
I do really like him.
I
Since
feel
his
like
Supernatural days.
I've been thinking about like what's the next big RPG campaign that I would like to run, because I'm running my main home game is for Row, 2 of our other friends you guys don't know, and then Malcolm and Angela. and it's kind of like it's based on Ghosts of Saltmarsh, so it's like a high seas adventure kind of thing. But at the same time, we've been playing for like 2 years, and the group just started like the high seas part of the adventure because there was so much like other stuff that they wanted to do and that like
Well,
I wanted to
yikes.
kind of present them with. But which is fine. Everything has been fun so far. It's just not we haven't gotten to do that part yet. But they're level what do you guys know? 9?
9.
And we're
9,
only going to
yeah.
go up to like level 12, maybe level 15 at the most. And so we're almost done. Like we're almost at the catastrophic event and all that kind of stuff. Spoiler, it's gonna be a huge event.
No, I'll stop it.
But they know that already. But I've been thinking about like what do I want my next event to or my next campaign to be, because like I've never just come up with a campaign myself. Like it's always been based on like Wizards of the Coast book or something.
Okay.
And I love the idea of doing something post-apocalyptic because that's one of
Okay.
my favorite genres. I think it's so cool. Anyways, that's a big long way of saying I think I need to watch this show to get some ideas on like the type of, because I'm like, what would you have? Like you wouldn't have like towns of people. You would have like towns where there would be people hiding for sure. And like what is like you're not gonna randomly run into like, I don't know, packs of goblins, or are you? Like I don't know. I need to really think through like what is
Yeah.
this event that's happened and what would be the outcome
After
of it.
this, I will tell you something that you can definitely use for inspiration.
Okay, great. But we don't want to say it on the show.
Not in front of Rowan if he's going to be playing it.
Oh, good point. Okay.
That doesn't do anything, Rowan.
I'll cover my ears.
Earmuffs.
But I think it is a good source of inspiration because, like, as Jardine was saying, like, I only watched a bit of it, but like, I remember I went into a comic book store around the time when Walking Dead was really huge and they were like pushing it. And the guy who was trying to like sell it to me was like, I was like, I'm not like zombies kind of creep me out. I don't know if I really want to read a whole book about zombies. He's like, if I'm being honest, it's not really about the zombies. He's like the zombies are the catalyst, but like the bad guys are the other humans, like humans. Judges like it's a book about, or it's a series about having to make crappy decisions. So it's like, at what point are you like, hey grandma, I really love you and like all those cookies you baked were really awesome, but you're way too slow and I have to leave you here.
Well,
And like that's what this thing is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
The show's like it kind of like originally bases around Rick Grimes, who's like a cop who wakes up and like he's really like justice focused. And by like season 6, he's like, yeah, I will go kill these people for you. Like there is he
Wow.
they're in season 5, they get like ambushed at night by like
Yeah.
a small group of people, but they have guns, and he's got his son with him and his like a traveling companion Michonne, and they're at gunpoint, and he just like starts a fist fight with the leader, and he's holding the leader of the small bandit group, and the guy's like, "What are you gonna do?" And Rick leans forward and bites the guy's throat out. It's just
Dang.
Oh my
covered in
God.
blood. And he's like grabs the guy's gun and just like starts shooting everybody. He's like, he is no longer the good cop. He is there to survive, and he doesn't care about killing people if they're
Dang.
threatening him.
It does
Like,
make sense though, because like I feel like with something like like other than, I don't know, like the type of post-apocalyptic like Bird Box and like what's that John Krasinski one,
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, like I feel like if it's just zombies, like that really isn't the main issue that you're going to face in a post-apocalyptic world, because you learn how to deal with those things. Like it's always going to be the other people and the resources and that stuff. It's not like once you figure out how to run away from zombies, you figure out how to run away from zombies.
Or
Yeah.
use
Or
them.
kill them. Or use them, yeah.
Mm.
But
they
by
do
like
that?
season 5, they have a good understanding of how to like deal with the herds of zombies. But like there's still always a looming threat. Like if there's too many of them, it's hard to deal with, and like they can kill you quickly if you get caught. But yeah, people are always the worst problem because
This
people
makes
are
me
terrible.
this makes me think of something else that is one of my favorite comic book series or graphic novel series is Y: The Last Man.
I love that series. I
I
own all the
love that
books.
series. Yeah, it's great, and I know that there is a show of it.
There was.
I haven't watched it. I know nothing about it, and I haven't heard anything
It got
about it, and that
canceled.
makes me nervous.
It got canceled. It
Did you
didn't get
watch
a full
any of it?
season. Yeah, I watched all of it. It
Was
didn't
it
get a full
good?
first season. It was good. It,
Okay, I
but
just
people
assumed it
didn't
was
like it
bad.
enough. No, it was actually pretty good. Like they did stray a bit from the comics, but like you're gonna
Mhm.
have to.
Yeah,
But like yeah, it didn't get like a full season. It was so
that's really
upsetting
unfortunate.
because it's one of my favorite graphic novels.
Yeah, me too. I really like it. I don't think I've actually finished it. I think we have 4 books, like, of
Oh,
the volumes.
it gets so good. It's fantastic. You guys will probably see most of my graphic novel collection when you go to Aaron's place because he's got all of them at the moment.
Oh.
Like
Oh,
almost all of them at least, yeah. Like all those
okay.
Sandman volumes, so that's all my stuff.
Oh,
Like
okay.
those huge books that are like
Yeah,
500
like
pages thick. Yeah,
yeah.
those are like
Dang.
all my graphic novels and stuff.
We're gonna start a graphic novels, image, in the Discord, image thread in the Discord because we got a lot. That was another one. I don't know if I talked about this on this show already, but, Paper Girls, that one,
I haven't seen that.
it's okay, so, like, another series that I really like, I believe it's Brian K. Vaughan who did that one? Um
I think so.
Yeah, anyways, it's really good. And there's an Amazon series of it. But if you know anything about the show or about the book, sorry, you know that there are so many things in there that I know Amazon did not give the show budget enough to recreate.
Oh,
Like the some of the characters ride around on dinosaurs, like flying dinosaurs, and I was like, I know that, and I've only watched the first episode because I'm still like a little behind in the book, so I want to like finish the books and then watch the whole show. But I'm like, what? I can't imagine what they're gonna do. They're not gonna show that. There's absolutely no way.
no,
Like they're
not to
gonna
that
off
degree.
screen it or something.
But uh, I give leeway to like shows that want to adapt these like books or graphic novels. Like you can't do it 100% the same because it doesn't translate to the screen that way, and that's okay. Put your own spin on it, diverge from the story a little. That's cool. I just want like the meat and potatoes of the story to still be there.
Yeah.
As long as it still feels like the same thing, I'm okay with it. That's
Yeah, the
why
same
I was
messages are
freaking
coming
out
through.
about like Wheel of Time and the Rings of
Mm.
Power because people are like, "Oh, it's diverging from the story so much." Like, I don't give a shit. It's entertaining. It's done
I
well.
I liked Rings of
Yeah.
Power, or not Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, but, I am very curious to see what they're gonna do with the fact that, like, Matt just didn't go with
Back
them.
to season 2. They have a
Yeah,
new
I'm
actor.
just like, I don't yeah, exactly, I'm like, what is where does that go? Like,
Yeah,
I don't that's just one inconsistency I have a really hard time with because 'cause I'm just like, are you gonna put a new actor in there? Are you
I think
gonna
so. Yeah, but
yeah, they
I
have
don't have that kind of feelings about Wheel of Time because I have not been willing to put in the effort to read 20 books or whatever it is.
mhm.
So like, yeah, I kind of know the story from people talking about it, but like, yeah, give it to me. I like fantasy.
I was
Uh,
in the middle of reading the first 2 books or, like, the first, like, big book when it came out, and so I had to, like, speed read that, and then I'm almost done the second book.
Fortunately, I've been told that like Wheel of Time gets really good after the third book. Like, fuck you.
That's a hard sell.
That's
Yeah,
1,500 pages I have to slog through before it gets interesting. No,
yeah.
thank you. Just give me the show.
I have a reco. I finished reading Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died, or whatever it's called. It's so good. It's honestly it's
What genre is it?
It's a like an autobiography.
So that got
But
dark. All right.
it's it's
Gotcha.
it's like dark humor. It's very interesting. It's like child star. Like she was on iCarly and like some of these like Disney shows with like Ari, like Ariana Grande and stuff. But and I'd never like watched those shows or like didn't know anything about her. I just had heard of this book going around, and just a lot of mental illness and abusive family that like obviously the title and the cover of the book is meant to be shocking and provocative and stuff, but like well worth the read if you even have any familiarity with that type of thing in your life. Very
cool.
healing. I loved it. And she's a great writer, and she probably should have gone into writing instead of being forced to go into acting, but now she's realized that, so good for her.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyone have anything else you want to share with us or plug before I don't go to an ending screen and just stop the stream because that's all I prepared?
Very abruptly.
Yeah.
I guess just to balance it out, my reco is Something's Killing the Children is a comic series that I've just started reading, which I know sounds dark, but it's I've only read the first two, but I am enjoying the concept of it and just this dope monster hunter girl who kind of like again I think it just hits a bunch of tropes, but like very fun. Really like the artwork style, and it's kind of it is giving me enough to kind of be like, ooh, what's coming next? So I would definitely give that a try. I think it's new-ish.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's more than a few volumes out at this point.
It says there's 25 issues.
Oh my.
Oh, so maybe our Indigo just doesn't. I mean, our local
Maybe.
comic book shop that we travel to, and not Indigo.
Been published monthly since September 2019. So it's a COVID series.
Dang. Okay.
Interesting. It is quite good. Plus, we saw someone cosplayed as the main character at Fan Expo, and she looked awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. That's been our show. This has been really fun. I am going to work on getting my layout better so the next time Pitts can't do this, it will be professional and really good. I was proud that I got the logo in there, to be honest. Yeah, keep an eye on our social media, join our Discord. I was going to say the next time this show happens, it'll be in Pitts' new house, but at the same time, there's a background and a green screen, so it'll look no different to you, the viewer. I'm Bex. This is Rona Jardine. We're part of the Casual Ones. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30, and this show in the mornings on Saturday mornings. That's it. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.